This video is brought to you by the City of Spiritdale Kickstarter.
This is great sculpting at a super affordable price. AJ, we're gonna have to censor that. Hey there, I'm Danny, the 3D Printing DM, and welcome to 3D Printed Tabletop, a channel where we cover all things 3D printing for your tabletop games. There are now over 200 STL creators who are releasing 3D printable models monthly via Patreon or Mammoth Factory tribes or their own store at this point, which is crazy to me because like 8 months ago, we were at I think 130 or so. Is that right, AJ? It's been crazy, and I've felt like it was time to have another search for the best creators you've probably never heard about, the hidden gems. Now, if you haven't seen one of my hidden gems videos, there are 3 rules. Number 1, they have to have 500 or less patrons, and they need to be making 3D printable tabletop related content. We want to spread the love, so previous creators who've been featured are off limits as well. To make this fair and random, we're using the entire creators list from stlbundles.com and running them through a random choice generator. And if we pick a Patreon with over 500 patrons, we're going to edit them out so you only see the good stuff. All right, before we dive into our search, I want to share that we now have merch. If you like 3D printer mimics and cute play on puns, printers, then come check it out. Let's see who our first STL creator is. Naga Minis. Cool, 113 patrons. So they have a cheaper buy-in than most, $4, which is gone, $6 and $7. I can already tell these are really unique. They tend to like the anthropomorphic type stuff. Like we got a little snake here with little wizard's hat on. These ox that are pulling. It looks like they've got a special name here. Ka Hyangan, and the snake wizard. I especially like this mouse, the mouse summoner. I think they're really cool. It looks like there's 2 people, Adley and Sarah. I love partners who do this sort of thing. It just makes it a lot more personal, like Cobra Mode, for example, are another pair. They were on one of the earlier ones. I know that there's a smaller but really passionate group of people who love like anthropomorphic creatures that are being put out by D&D, like the Herongon. There's a market for this. I think it's cool that they're coming out with this stuff. And if you are one of those people who loves this sort of thing, then you should definitely check them out. All right, let's go to our next choice. Sculpt Orc. I wonder what they're making. Sorry, dad joke. These pictures and these names are funny. Prospector, badass, mechanic. Real early on the ball, making sure the ball is rolling. I like this. There's a lot of character. The theme is really cool. Let me see some colored Sculpt Orc renderings. This is really unique that they have colored versions of the models that they're making. Like this one, a Cyclops orc. And look at that, a female orc. Maybe it's a female with a male torso, I don't know. But that's cool. It looks like they have a bunch of different variety to be able to make the people who like having that variety have something to paint and to print. This is now the second orc group that we've had, maybe the third. We have a orc with a monocle and a top hat. We have this, looks like an orc, a Greek orc, and it continues. I think at a minimum, I mean, it's clear, right? If you're an orc player or you just love orcs in general, this is one of those Patreons that's gonna cater to you. And the kind of over-the-topness that orcs have, I think it plays well to this. But more than anything, if you love variety and you love different bits, then I think this would be a great choice for you.
Before we move forward, I want to take a moment to tell you about today's sponsor, the City of Spiritdale Kickstarter. The City of Spiritdale Kickstarter brings some fantasy flair to the tabletop terrain space with a uniquely designed set of buildings. I love the wavy roofs, these intricate windows and wall decorations. They really make them stand out compared to other STL building collections I've seen before. Now the core set includes 6 building STLs. The campaign has already unlocked 25 stretch goals, like the Lookout Tower and this charming 3-story fantasy house. There's also a potential to unlock 50 plus additional STL files through the rest of the campaign as well. The best part, none of the City of Spiritdale files requires supports, and all come pre-split for printers like the Ender 3 and the Prusa Mini. The Kickstarter is live right now, and there are links down in the description below, so please check it out, and I hope you enjoy Spiritdale as much as I do. Thanks again for supporting YouTube content creators and other STL designers as well by sponsoring today's video, City of Spiritdale. Now let's get back to the hidden gems.
Right, we're gonna go to our third choice. Bright Minis. I like that we have this picture of Adam. It gives me a personal touch. But what they do is they make support-free miniatures, and there's a lot of times where people don't want to print supports, or they're printing on like an FDM printer where removal with supports is harder, and he's been making them for a long time. There are not very many people that do this. He releases, I know, at least a lot of his files for free. This is like a community benefit that he does this for. If there's anybody who wants to support a creator who releases a lot to the community for free, then I think it would be him. And if you're one of those people who has FDM printers and love supportless minis, I think this is absolutely something you consider, because he's got so much variety. Look at this, an owlbear with a dead skeleton in blood, with, it looks like an orc and an old school orc, and soldier. Like, these are great. And just a caveat, you're not gonna find very many, you know, like raging battle poses, because supportless models have limitations, right? But what I mentioned here, if you want a large variety of models that are supportless and somebody who shares a lot of stuff with the community for free, this is a wonderful person to support, a wonderful Patreon to support. I really respect people who do that, because it costs them money to do that. Let's go to our next choice. Rocket Pig Games. Rocket Pig Games have been around for a very long time, and I'm not sure if they still do this, but originally they were like a supportless miniature company, and it looks like this is one of their Patreons. This is cool. I'm not sure if they're still doing supportless miniatures or not. They also have 5e sheets, it looks like. Definitely a unique batch. I'm not sure if these are meant for D&D or they're meant for war games, because it's such an eclectic collection. But I would assume if somebody wants to homebrew a lot of monsters or throw out different stuff, because they're including 5e sheets, that you'd be able to do it with this Patreon, because I've never seen anything like this in terms of the models. I know they've made a lot of D&D monsters in the past, and they've run Kickstarters and stuff with the D&D models in the past, but they have a good amount of patrons too, 454. Let me see what these guys offer. So yeah, so if you want to get the full collection of monsters, the deluxe large, then it's $15 per month, and everything else it's $9 per month. They have a really cool loot bag. I've recognized some of these monsters that I've seen over the years. And it looks like they've got some terrain too. Here's a high-res version of this picture. A lot of these are really cool. I'm not sure how I would use them personally, but if you love painting miniatures, I think these would paint up really well, especially the bigger ones, like this frog abomination. Okay, this is your time now where we ask for your input. Everyone has a favorite hidden gem creator that they love, and I'd love to hear yours, so please leave a comment. Let us and the community who's reading know who you think should be on this list, so me and everybody else can check out their awesome work. Let's see what our next one is. Mammoth Factory. So Mammoth Factory has, they have a tribes, right? Which we haven't seen as many tribes here yet. Tribes is a version, it's kind of like a Patreon, has a lot of the same features, just on a centralized website called My Mini Factory, which is by far the biggest hub for 3D printable models. And now they opened up their own Patreon alternative called Tribes, which is where their stuff is on. They have monthly, this is a lot of stuff. Monthly release, last month's adventure box, which is the welcome pack, quality 5e adventure battle maps. This is a lot. I know a lot of people are including this stuff these days. I want to see what their welcome pack is. Man, these monsters have a lot of detail. That's the first thing I'm noticing. Yeah, they're really detailed. The sculptor or team that's doing this is really talented. They come pre-supported. I'm not sure what game these might necessarily be good for. I could see these creatures being in like a warband for a mini agnostic game like a Frostgrave. But also, I could picture these being in D&D with homebrew. Like that one looks like a Satyr Beastman thing that's going like this, rocking the column. That's got such good flavor. Infernal Forges, Fiendish Giantkin. They've got 240 subs. This is really cool. At a super affordable price, $8 a month. Jump on it, people. That's amazing for what it comes with. And I don't know how they're able to do it for that price, but this is a really cool choice and definitely something I would check out, including all of their stuff in the welcome pack. Okay, let's see who our next one is. Edge Miniatures, The Cursed Dimension, is creating stylized miniatures for printing and gaming. 446 patrons, they just barely made it. This is for sure a wargaming Patreon. $5 per month, is really affordable. $7 per month, which includes the supported STLs, is still incredibly affordable. 40% off is a really good price. These remind me of Oblivion for some reason because of the spikiness of the armor and kind of some of the shapes of the monsters. Space Bikers, nice. This reminds me of Green Goblin, but I know it really reminds me of another. Oh, we got more not safe for work there. Beautiful. Hey Jay, I'm gonna have you censor that. And it looks like they also have sexy pinups, like it says right here. So another not safe for work Patreon that kind of combines all those things, but unique. And definitely the sculptor is talented. Pretty cool. If you're into space elves of any kind, space pirates, space raiders, this is gonna be a cool Patreon for you to check out this month. Let's do one more. Warblade Studios Sci-Fi. So there's two Warblade Studios. It looks like there's a fantasy and it looks like there's a sci-fi one, which I think is smart because a lot of times there's this weird, I don't know what I'm gonna get. And if you have different pledge tiers, then what ends up happening is somebody will see all the pictures and not understand whether it's in one or the other. There's some confusion when it comes to branding and marketing. So I think it's smart that there's two. All right, definitely this is clear for proxies of games that center around a galaxy far, far away. Wars that take place in the stars. This is great sculpting. They have armor and units that are clearly inspired. It looks like this is their thing. And look at this, they have multi-posed options. I think it's great to provide variety like that because these can now be for a game like Stargrave or a mini agnostic game that does include sci-fi. But this is cool. And I love that there's multiple heads and there's female heads as well. That's something we don't get a lot, to the point where there's literally a female head Kickstarter. And at a minimum, really easy to understand in terms of what they offer, in terms of what they're good at and what it's going, which is really smart from both a branding perspective as well as a marketing perspective. I'm surprised they only have 99 patrons because the work of the sculpting is obviously really good. You can use these in real games that are being played now that are pretty popular. Another choice if this is something that interests you. Once again, if there's any type of creators that you think are hidden gems that we didn't get to cover because of time, please by all means leave a comment below and check out some of the creators that we featured. Let us know if you think they were some of the best hidden gems that you've seen so far on the platform. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, share it in a community you think would appreciate it. If you'd like to support the channel, the best way to do so is to pick up a late pledge on our website and become a patron over on Patreon. You'll get access to our exclusive Discord and exclusive behind the scenes content. I also want to give a special thanks to our top patrons for their generous support. You can also support the channel without making any type of financial contribution by using the links below, which also helps us keep making videos like this one. All right, I'll see you next time. Happy printing and happy gaming.